What is up? Welcome to Talking Touchdowns, brought to you by Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined as usual by Kurt and Tyler, and we are excited. We had a fun week last week. We're expecting to do it again. What's up to everybody in the chat? Remember, give us that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and away we go. Let's start with last night. The football was overshadowed by the concussion protocol or lack of it in the case of Tua. Tyler, start with you. What were your thoughts on last night's Thursday Night Football game?
Yeah, I'm just going to stand by. I still think he shouldn't have played in that game in the first place. I still don't buy the whole back injury thing they gave him on Sunday. I still say that was a head injury because I've never seen somebody lose their balance off a back injury. And if you did, your back was probably snapped, so you damn sure weren't playing a football game 4 days later. He looked decent in the game up until he held the ball a little bit too long on that play and got whipped to the ground. But somebody's getting in trouble for this spread because I think it's going to come up that he should not have been in that game. That team's going to get fined again. Someone's getting fired. Hopefully he's all right and can still play, but I just don't like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have came back in against Buffalo. Kurt, what were your thoughts?
It was scary, man. Like my first thought was, well, I hope he can kind of move everything. And then the second thought was, I really hope, like I tweeted out, I hope we haven't seen his last play.
Yeah.
Looking like that's not going to be the case since they put him back on the plane that soon. The coach said that he watched McGruber on the way home. First away, my takeaway is they cleared him to be on the plane, okay. But I've had a concussion, and you're not supposed to be watching TV and any screens, definitely not less than 24 hours afterwards. So he's not only in high altitude, he's also watching a movie. And I hope he had sunglasses on or blue light or something, but it just seems like a complete mishandling of the situation. It was really scary last night, but I'm glad that he's okay and can move and walk and all that stuff.
Let's get to the actual football played on the field. Otter brings up a good question. And, you know, I did the wagering world with my guy 5-Star this morning, and we were kind of opposite here. He said, Bengals, man, I don't know if we can back them. And that was my guy 5-Star's idea. I think this team's going to come along, Kurt. And I keep grabbing on something that you said about you'd rather have a cohesive line than a talented offensive line. They obviously upgraded at the talent level, but we don't see the cohesion yet. They didn't play a lot together during the preseason. My idea is this line's going to get better and better, and we're really not going to see their true potential till week 10 or week 11 when it really counts. So I can understand if you want to say that for the next couple of weeks, but I think this team's going to continue to improve. I saw some good things out of that line last night, but here's the thing, and my other thing is Thursday Night Football to me is a complete joke off the idea that they don't give these guys a bye. Because I thought the Bengals line looked better, but how much of that was the fatigue from playing in the 100-degree sauna that they played in last Sunday, where that defense was on the field for 90 plays? So how much of that is that these guys are getting better, and how much is that, right, Kurt? Right? If I play you on 2 hours sleep, I'm going to look a lot better than rested.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. And I think everyone's going to say, well, they haven't played anybody. Well, yeah, but sometimes you got to get the grease on the wheel a little bit. You got to let it get things going. And then, like you said, week 10, hit the ball rolling. There's a lot of teams who don't let them get hot right now. We don't want our teams hot right now. We want them hot week 16, 17, going to the playoffs. So I don't care who they played yet. Let them get going a little bit. Let that line get some coordination, and we'll see what happens.
If they can start running the ball for blocking for Mixon, and it felt like they were starting to do that against what I think is a quality front seven, that's going to go a long way towards making Burrow and those wide receivers look a lot better. Otter doesn't know if he can back the Bengals. I'm kind of high on this team. I know people aren't. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat with Otter. That was like the smash spot for the Bengals. Everyone and their mother was on them last night. Paid off in the end.
Well, because the Thursday Night Football is so dumb. Nobody was ever giving him a football reason. It's not like we're like, oh, Jamar Chase is going to beat this corner, or T. Higgins has a good matchup with Xavier Howard. It was that was a brutal game on Sunday, and it's a terror. You don't have enough time to prepare.
I'll get you some football reasoning spread. Give me 1 second.
All right. Give me
where was this trend at that I had?
What, first-time head coaches on Thursday Night Football do terrible too? Yeah, that was another one.
Where is it at? Since 2015, teams coming off an outright win as an underdog and then turn around on Thursday nights and are an underdog again, they're 0-12 straight up, and they were 1-11 against the spread.
Wow.
You pull those just to the away games, they were 0-8 in both.
Okay.
Make it 0-9 in both because Dolphins went down and didn't cover the spread.
They just simply don't have enough time to prepare. And you know what? The fix is so easy. And you know what? The fix gives us more football with just less crowded slates. You add an extra bye week, and people take the bye the week before the Thursday night. You get 10 days to prepare and then some time off in between. I mean, this is easy. Let's get it done.
One thing we got to talk about that we got out of that game.
What?
If guys watched that last preview in the award show we did before the season started, cash that 16-1 on Philly being the last undefeated team. Because Miami went down, and they're the only 3-0 team left on the board.
Good pick.
All right. As our good friend said, put it on the board. Great job there, Tyler. And, boy, I was going through the rest of their schedule. They might have one of their hardest games this week.
I got a hot take on them. I think they could be what everyone thought Buffalo was going to be this season. They just stormed through the regular season. They're just pounding everybody into the ground. But then come playoff time, I think they're going to have some troubles.
You know what I want to happen? I want the Bills to lose this game to the Ravens, and then I want to hammer the Bills to win the Super Bowl. I want them to lose the freak so bad.
I think you are going to see them lose this game to the Ravens.
Love it. I hope I do, and I will go, and I hope their odds go up a little bit, and I'll hammer. I didn't get a chance to bet it. I don't really do that much, but I definitely would hammer it after that loss.
All right. Well, let's jump in. Tyler, I already know how you're going to handicap this game, but we will go through the motions and allow you to do it as well. As Kirk Cousins will not be playing at 1 p.m. Eastern. He will be playing in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in England. That means it's a 9:30 a.m. for you guys on the East Coast. For me, right with that morning coffee at 6:30 a.m. as these guys are kicking off. And I'll tell you what, originally I thought I was going to back the Saints here for all the reasons that you're probably going to outline on how bad Cousins is. But boy, this team's really beat up. I don't think Kamara's 100%. Jameis Winston is not going to play. And I don't know if Michael Thomas is going to play either. Will that defense be enough? I'm not so sure. So I think this could be a good spot for Minnesota. He has played in England once, and they put up 23 or 27 points. I think it was a tie. Regardless, let's talk about this game. Kurt, what do you think? I haven't placed a bet yet. Saints, Vikings, -3 for the Vikings. Total 41. What do you think?
I think the under hits. The Andy Dalton, the Saints D is good. Andy Dalton's not going to score. I like the under. Give me the Vikings -3. I don't love that number, but I would really probably just bet the under here.
Tyler, what do you think? You're fading your guy Cousins outside of his time zone?
I am. And there's not even just specifically because he's out of his comfort zone at 1 p.m. Our guy Kurt played sports. When you got to travel, you kind of get jet lagged. When you're traveling 16 hours on a plane, you might get jet lagged. The Saints have been in London since Tuesday spread. Mm-hmm. The Vikings didn't land yet. They don't land for 3 more hours.
Hate that.
So you're giving them 1 day to adjust to a 5-hour ahead schedule and sending them out there to play a football game. I think they come out flat, jet lagged. Andy Dalton's not going to turn over the ball as much as Winston was. He's just going to play his little game manager game, dump off the ball to Jarvis Landry, maybe hit Olave down the sideline. If Michael Thomas plays a bunch of slants, they're going to try and use Kamara. They still have Ingram back there, and they still have the Jones kid. So I like the Saints here. I like them first half. I'm not going to bet them full game because I can see the Vikings waking up in the second half. But I don't hate taking a Saints to win the first half. Vikings win the game at +750 halftime, full time.
All right. What do you think, Kurt?
I tell you what I love, and this might be my lock of the week. Kamara over 3.5 catches. Kamara over 26.5 receiving yards. I think he gets
receiving props.
I think he gets 7 for like 50 or 60 here. I might do an alternate receiving prop for that too. I think he's going to dump it off all day to him. That's going to be their whole offense, I believe. I mean, he's going to crush 26.5, and I think he gets 5 catches as well.
Any other props you're looking at in this game, Tyler?
Not right now. I don't see many other ones yet. We've had a great success targeting these random guys spread that they populate on these books, their longest receptions unders. But some of these guys don't even see the field. Like Monday night, we got Tanner Hudson under longest reception, 8.5 yards. The dude didn't see a target. I couldn't even tell you what team he played on Monday night. We cashed that bet, though. So we wait a little bit longer and we get some of those unders closer to Sunday. That's going to be the props I'm looking at.
All right. And a reminder, you can find those over at runpuresports.com, a member of the Run Pure Bets team. Head on over, check out on everything the team has to offer at runpuresports.com. Tennessee Titans +3.5 in Indianapolis, taking on the Colts 42.5, where Kurt got one of the luckiest victory laps I've ever seen. A taunting call for obscenities in the National Football League. You got to be making up these rules as they go along. I mean, just absolutely unbelievable. But that's the randomness that goes into effect on this game. Regardless, I think that I can get it back this week by, the Colts now coming in. I still think they're a little overvalued. I'm not high on this team at all. And as bad as Tannehill is, I think Ryan's even worse. The Tennessee offensive line is a concern for me here, but I do think the defense and the defensive line will be able to hold up. Derrick Henry maybe getting back into the groove. We'll see if that's just the Raiders being absolutely terrible or if he's improving. Regardless, I like the Titans plus 3.5 in a game with a total of 42.5. Kurt, what do you think?
Go to Tyler real quick. I'm trying to place this Kamara bet. So 1 second. I'm sorry.
All right, Tyler. He's going to get that Kamara bet down, and you're going to go ahead and break down the Titans and the Colts.
Man, this is a tough game spread. The more I look at it, it's basically which running back destroys the game and which coaching staff can handle the game. I think Tennessee has the advantage in coaching. I think the Colts might have the advantage on the ground at this point. So it's tough. Neither team's pass defense is very good either, but neither team's airing the ball out very well. I seen the Titans said they want to get Burks more involved in the offense. So looking at his prop at 37.5 yards, I like the over there. So I'm going to target that. Henry's rushing yards at 70.5. That seems really low when he's touching the ball 20 plus times. Mm-hmm. He should be able to clear 70 if he's getting 18 to 22 carries here. So I'll definitely like that. And then Jonathan Taylor over 100 yards is another spot I like. But as for a side, probably just going to stay away from this one. This game's I know it's a 3.5 spread. It's pretty much home field advantage. But this is pretty much the biggest coin flip on the board for me. I can see this game going either way.
Really? I think there's some more crazier coin flips. So, if you'll check out the NFL playbook, Tyler and I work together on it. But I'm when we generate those numbers, it did like the Titans there. But you have to make sure that the narratives and the situation goes ahead and matches up with those numbers. So I still like Tennessee, regardless of what I said. Tyler said he's a little more wary after breaking down the individual matchup between the teams. What do you think, Kurt? Are you going to join me on Team Titans? Are you going to go with the Colts once again? Or are we going to move on to the next one? What do you think?
I think 3.5. 3.5 is a little too much. I think the Titans do suck, but the Colts kind of off a semi-emotional victory that they had to have last week. I really liked how I saw the Titans involve Derrick Henry in the passing game a little bit. That keeps those linebackers, that keeps them honest, even on just every time he's in knowing, okay, well, he could come out of the backfield and get a pass. That's enough to really open up some things. Maybe not enough to win a game, but I think it could be enough to cover. So I'm going to go the Colts win by only 3. So I'm not going to bet it. I'm not going to bet it, though.
Okay. Well, at least no one's going against me there, so I feel safe throwing that Titans bet in, and we, of course, will run that down on Monday. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified when we go live, where Titletown Tyler and Joey work. Joey was so good on Monday's show. Rather than having that be a one-off, he's going to be on there with us every week now. So looking forward to that, and we'll be breaking that down and reviewing that. Hopefully I'm not taunted again by a ref's decision. This game, we could probably be pretty quick on it unless you guys have a great edge. I'll tell you what, I think Red Zone is going to be pretty quick on it. It's the Chicago Bears. They're plus 3 in New York, taking on the Giants, who are coming off that rough loss to the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Lowest total on the board here of 39, and that can be understandable because Chicago has yet to find anything resembling a passing game in 2022. They're going back to their old 1945 offense that they ran when they won the title so many times back in the 40s, but that's what the offense is looking like in Chicago. Another thing that's not looking good, Tyler, is the state of Daniel Jones' weapons with Shepard out, Kadarius Toney banged up. Not a lot going on there for Mr. Daniel Jones. Evan Neal had his worst game as a pro, and DeMarcus Lawrence was in the backfield all game long. What do you think, Tyler?
It's simple here. The Giants win this game. I don't know if they smash them because I don't think they blow anybody out this year. I think they win this game pretty easily, though. I think they
The
cover.
Giants?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the Bears are the worst team in the league. They can't move the ball anyway outside of Khalil Herbert running it. This pass rush for the Giants got Azeez Alogier back and Kayvon Thibodeau back last week. So their pass rush is going to look like how Dallas looked against the Giants last week. Mind you, Dallas probably has the best pass rush in the league. So they beat up on the Giants' offensive line. I don't really take much off of those guys because they looked good the other couple weeks. Everybody's going to get beat up by these front seven on Dallas. I think they do it to Chicago here. Fields is running for his life. Saquon has a solid day. Giants win this game by at least a touchdown.
All right. Tyler likes the Giants. What do you think, Kurt?
I love that take. Bears have looked so bad, and they're 2-1, right? Or are they 1-2?
They're 2-1.
Somehow,
there's absolutely no way they win this game. I think you throw it in a money line parlay. The Giants are going to win this game. This is almost similar to the Bengals lock to me. Obviously not as much.
Really? Okay.
It's close. I
got the lock for you in this game, Kurt. Graham Gano over 1.5 field goals made -110.
That's been good for us this year.
Field goals made that's one of my favorite bets.
And interceptions props, those go overlooked, and I feel like those go more overlooked than my EuroLeague basketball player props, man. I mean, you just got to take advantage of those. As far as fantasy, you don't really want to touch this game because it's going to be bad. But Richie James, he might get himself a little 12-target game here, and he's 4K. If he can get you 12, God forbid if he gets you a touchdown, then you're looking real nice. I think he's definitely someone you want to target this week. I haven't leaned on another receiver yet. I really like Seals, but he just doesn't have that floor as James, but he does have a higher touchdown ceiling, in my opinion. He's 3K. Might go there in some MMEs.
I agree with that Richie James take. Also, I'd keep an eye on BetMGM because last week they had different tiered off props for him. It was 5+ receptions at 3-1. He's going to be the number one now. If they want to list 7 receptions at 10-1, I'll definitely be sprinkling on that.
I think he can catch 8 balls, 50 yards.
Yeah, he caught 4 last game, and he didn't get targeted as much as he did in the first couple of weeks. So now no Shepard, he could definitely get up there.
If I get that 10-1, I would put 2 or 3 units on that.
Yep.
All right. Let's go on to the game of the morning. Buffalo Bills -3 in Baltimore taking out the Ravens. Total 51 in this game. The Bills, of course, coming off that grueling game in Miami where they fell short. They'll obviously be excited to bounce back, but this is a tough team to try and bounce back again. Baltimore Ravens have looked absolutely fantastic. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, 2 of the top MVP candidates, squaring off here, but Baltimore will have the home field advantage. Tyler, which way are you going, Bills or Ravens?
I lost all the little mouse icon. I was couldn't get the mute button off for a second, but I'm going to side with the Ravens here.
Okay.
I just don't trust this Buffalo team in close game spread. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me right now. I'll get them once Kurt goes through his breakdown. But it just seems like anytime you get Josh Allen in a close game and he's not front running the game and just taking over, he pisses right down his leg and does something stupid and loses the game. We've seen it in the Miami game. It wasn't all his fault, but there were certain throws where it was you hit that throw 9 times out of 10. Now you're down by 4 and the ball's falling at the receiver's feet all of a sudden. It's I don't like the sight of that. This Baltimore team, I don't think falls behind by a ton here. I think they're able to run the ball very well. Lamar's playing out of his mind. If Bateman's able to take this secondary, the top off of it, and they score some points that way, I think Baltimore takes this game pretty easy. Their secondary, I still think, is one of the best in the league. They got most of those guys back from injury. I think they'll be able to bottle up these receivers, and Buffalo's still pretty banged up spread. I have the underdog notifications turned on. I got maybe 8 notifications in a row from the Buffalo injury report on guys being questionable to play Sunday, didn't practice all week. So definitely monitor their injury report. But right now I'm siding with the Ravens.
Tough spot for the Bills coming off that grueling trip to Miami. Kurt, what are your thoughts?
Tyler, the Ravens ain't going to win this game. They ain't going to win this game. They could, but they ain't going to do it. So this is a game that, depending on how my college football slate goes on Saturday, this will be a game that if I have a decent day, I'm going to purchase a ticket, and I'm going to travel my ass to Baltimore and watch it because I'm sure the tickets are out of the ranges, but I'm going to reward myself if I have a good day in college. I saw that they had Xavier Rhodes in today for a visit. He wouldn't be ready for this week, but I think he down the road could be a serviceable guy to throw in there once they're hurt again like this. That Heat, man, it sounds very soft to say this as an ex-football player, that as the Heat lost us the game. No, but man, when they were having some offensive players that couldn't stay in the game at all times, playmakers, you miss one play and all of a sudden now it's that 3rd and long. where if an X factor guy was in the game, okay, maybe it's second and short. I think the Bills bounce back here. It's cold up here today. I imagine it's going to be fairly cold Sunday in this area. I mean, I got my jacket on. I was wearing shorts today, and it was probably maybe a little bit too cold for that even. I'm also being a little pussy right now. But I think the Bills will be happy to be back up north. I think they will win this game. Now, if they cover, don't know that, but I think the Bills will definitely win this game. They've just done a great job at scheming against Lamar for the past 2 or 3 years. I think they bounce back. Give me the Bills, money line.
All right, two opposite sides there. I'm fine staying on the sideline here. I'll let you guys victory.
I got the weather pulled up for that game. It's showing 54 degrees, light rain, 14-mile-an-hour winds.
That's chilly.
Yeah, so that plays into both teams. Like,
yeah,
they're just both going to be.
Did you pull up the Josh Allen stat? Because they mentioned that on the broadcast.
I can't find it online right now.
But it's like the last.
I know it's
6 point or less.
Yeah.
He's lost. He's on a streak.
I think he's only won one of them.
Oh, man, I was wanting him to win 0 because this would be the first. I would have hammered even more. But if it's 1, there's no.
I'm Googling it right now, too.
Also, the past 3 weeks, my first lineup has been my Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews team. This week, I'm full fading that. I'm going to be full fading Lamar. Probably full fading Andrews because if I don't play Lamar, I'm not playing Andrews. So, RIP.
How about our guy DeMarcus Robinson this week? Receiving yards set at 10.5. That's one catch. He ain't catching a slant or like a screen.
His snaps will show up there, right?
Yep.
Then I like that. I like that a lot. It's a good find.
I found it, Tyler. In 2021, the Bills went 0-6 in one-score games, including the playoffs. And then, of course, they lost the one-score game against Miami. So now they're 0-7 since the beginning of the 2021 season. And I think when they gave it on the broadcast, it extends a little farther. Maybe they were 1-3. I think they used
his whole career.
Yeah. So regardless, the point's been made, and we'll see if he can go ahead and overcome that.
I like Dobbins.
The defense has gotten a lot better. Like, for example, Josh Allen lost a one-score game against Kansas City, but you can't blame him for that one, right? So sometimes these stats can be tricky, but I understand your point. And when it happens once or twice, it's not a big deal. But now it's getting to the point where it's something that we do need to note and pay attention to. So he gets an opportunity to either dispel that myth or just blow this team out and wait for another week. Any thoughts on the total here? I would say this game seems like an over game, Tyler, but when we ran the model, we found that, most of these games were coming under. And then when I talked to Holden about it, he mentioned that the scoring's down about 3 points per game across the league so far throughout the first 3 weeks. So it makes sense. And I remember how the NBA unders were so good for that first month of the season. I don't want to get away from it. So I'm really afraid to bet an over right now. But stylistically, this does seem like it's a game that could go over, especially with Buffalo having that high-powered attack and then also having the problems in their secondary. Do you like the over at all, Tyler? Do we go against the streak, or do we just keep betting unders? Because the numbers on the playbook, make sure you head to runpuresports.com. Check out the NFL playbook in the Run Pure Bets section. The numbers on the playbook are going to tell you to go under. What do you think, Tyler?
Give me the under here, spread 51.5. I think Baltimore tries to run the ball a bit more here, try and slow that Buffalo offense down and keep them on the sideline. That's just going to keep the clock ticking. And at 51, you get 2 8-minute drives all of a sudden that end in field goals, and now you can't get there. So give me the under.
I love that. I'm going to second that. I love J.K. Dobbins in fantasy this week. I think he surprised himself. I think he surprised his coaches at how well he handled the load last week. I think they try to pound him, so that goes hand in hand with what you're saying. 5.3, give me that all day in a high-scoring game.
So you're telling me this 37.5 rushing yards on him is pretty much a lock?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, if I'm paying 5.3 for him, he better damn well be getting 40. So,
that's a really low number.
I'm going to hit that as well. I like that.
All right. Sounds like a plan. The Los Angeles Chargers and their beat-up quarterback are heading to Houston to take on the Texans. Chargers laying 6 on the road here in a spot, total of 45. Last season, they needed to go to Houston, and it was almost like a must-win. And they not only did they not cover what was like a 13 or 14-point spread, something ridiculous, they failed to win outright, and that was one of the main reasons that they needed that Raiders game as a must-win, where they failed to make the playoffs. once again. Herbert with that rib injury, I don't know. That's not something that in my mind that obligatory. I'm not a doctor, right? But that you're going to get over so quickly. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I'm just going to read you their injury report spread. Herbert, rib injury, probable. Keenan Allen, hamstring, questionable. J.C. Jackson, ankle, questionable. 2 centers, Corey Linsley being the starter, Isaac Weaver being the backup. Weaver's out, Lindsey questionable. Slater out. Joey Bosa out. They're missing a ton of guys still spread. That injury bug's right back where it always been in Los Angeles with the Chargers. I think they win the game. I'm just going to stay away from this one, though, because this is lined just like the Kansas City game last week. It's trying to bait you into taking the Chargers, and we seen what happened last year when these teams played. Also, Houston can run the ball pretty well. The Chargers can't stop the run at all. And the weak point of Houston's defense is their run defense, and the Chargers can't run the ball. So unless they're going to take advantage of these corners who have been playing pretty well for Houston, I think Houston can keep it close, but I'm just staying away from this one.
Kurt, must be something wrong with that growth hormone down there in LA because the Chargers cannot stay healthy. What are your thoughts on the Chargers and the Texans?
I originally liked the Chargers money line thrown into a parlay, but then I saw Corey Linsley on the report, and it's like, that's a big boy. I think that's a very good offensive lineman. So now I'm pretty cautious on it. And Houston's, they're just fiery, man. They'll just stay in games. And then it's on the road. And every time I see a 5.5 point spread, I'm like, this is a trappy little situation we got, especially for a team on the road. So very cautious now. If they all of a sudden get healthy, it could be a different story come part of that Friday report, I'm guessing today, around 3. Has it came out yet? Anything else new?
No,
I saw it yesterday.
I don't think we get the report till 4:45 my time.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say I have the notifications on. I'm watching my phone to see if they come through.
Yeah, so unless something changes, I'm going to be completely off that. For fantasy, I told myself Pierce was awesome for me last week. I had him like 80%. I told myself if he wasn't more than 6K this week, I'd go back 5.6. I like it. I'm basically going on Big T's method again this week. The 5K running backs and the high end receivers didn't work last week. This week, I think it does. So Pierce 5.6, I'm in. Cook's 5.8. Don't care to go back to that, but don't play them together.
All right, Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5 in Detroit, taking on the Lions with a total of 48. I'm not sure what to do here, Tyler. These are 2 teams that I don't really feel like I have a good handle on in both regards. I think Detroit's a little overvalued by the market. Seattle's taking a lot of money here this week. What are your thoughts? Is that Seattle money correct?
I hate to do this 2 games in a row spread, but I'm probably going to pass on this game also. Amon St. Brown ain't playing. DeAndre Swift ain't playing.
Right.
So it's like, where's Detroit offense come from?
Well, that backup in Detroit's not that bad as far as
Jamal Williams is solid, but as for the wide receivers, like DJ Chark's also banged up. So is Josh Reynolds. Neither of those guys really practiced this week. So it's like, who's catching balls from Jared Goff this week when Jared Goff might not be the best passer, but this offense has looked good through a few weeks. I kind of want to take the under now with these weapons off the field. That's kind of the way I'm looking at this. But as for a side, I think Detroit wins the game. Probably a stay away from me. Maybe I'll get on the kickers. Jason Myers over 1.5 field goals plus 115. They're going to be in a dome, no weather effects. Seattle should be able to get up and down the field. Detroit's given up a ton of points this year, so like those field goals.
Kurt, Tyler mentioned Jared Goff has looked pretty good this season, and all I would say is, isn't that amazing how a very good offensive line all of a sudden makes an average quarterback look pretty good? But let's just continue to act like this line the line play has nothing to do with it, right? And all that matters is the quarterback and the receiver. So I'm not surprised at all that Goff looks a little bit better. He gets time, and it's not just him. Almost every single quarterback in the league, if you give them time, is going to piece apart a defense with the way they call the defensive secondary now. So time means everything, and defensive ends just keep getting better and better. I think a lot of these guys that would have played basketball before are just too big now, the way that basketball is played, so they just go to football. All these like super twitchy athletes, right, that just explode off the line. Those might have been a nice first step for a small forward back in the day. But the way the NBA switched, they're playing in the NFL now, and it's havoc for these quarterbacks. Regardless, man, this is like a game between 2 crappy teams. I guess we need to pick it for like our pools where we pick every single game, but I'm fine not getting involved here. Do you think I'm leaving an edge on the table if I do that, Kurt?
I kind of like Seahawks plus 3.5. I mean, I would prefer. I don't really like betting this shitty ass Seahawks team on the road, but
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm actually not. I think Amon Ra and I think DeAndre Swift are very, very good, but like Jamal Williams he's about half of it. He's about half of Swift. And you put him behind a good offensive line, he can get things done somewhat. He can catch the ball. And then DJ Chark was the wide receiver 1 in fantasy for the Jags like a couple weeks ago. So I mean, it's not like he's no jack off. And then Goff's got great rapport with his boy Josh Reynolds. So yeah, obviously 2 giant playmakers are missing. But for fantasy, I still think you can play the backups. I think this offense can move the ball. People have been the first 3 weeks. People have been stacking up these Lions games. No one's going to do it now because the 2 guys are out. I actually don't mind a little Seahawks 3-man stack because the Lions defense hadn't changed. They're still terrible. It's still in a dome. Love the Myers thing. Give me like a Seahawks stack with a run back of like DJ Chark. Someone sent me that today, and I was like, I actually love the way this looks. It makes sense. No one's going to be doing it. So give me that.
All right. I like it. You found some angle there. And I'll tell you what, I like the Seahawks too. The problem is when Tyler and I originally broke down this game, we broke it down at 5.5. So when I buying it at like 3.5, right? It's like buying a TV the week after Black Friday, right? Like, why would I do that? I could have gone a week ago and got it for $400 less or whatever. So that's my worry there. At the opening number, I love the Seahawks, but the market agreed. Detroit Lions should not be laying that much. The New York Jets are catching 3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the greatest leader of men in the National Football League. No way would have Mike Tomlin sent Tua out there on Thursday night. Hopefully Josh McDaniels learns from Tomlin's greatness. But will Tomlin's greatness be enough to overcome starting Mitch Trubisky at quarterback? Tyler, the rumors I've heard is that they're getting ready. If Trubisky gets off to a slow start, it might finally be picket fence season.
I don't know where you heard that rumor at because your boy shut that rumor down pretty quick. He said you ain't going to see him till maybe Christmas.
Really?
Think about this.
Grinch.
All right, spread. Just take it. All right, they say they lose this game to the Jets on Sunday. Are you going to put your new quarterback in and send him to Buffalo, then Tampa?
I mean, and Buffalo's
then
not
Miami,
the same as it used to be.
Then Philadelphia, and then the Saints, and then Cincinnati as his first 5 games. Why don't you just fucking send him home instead? Like, you're going to kill his confidence anyway if you send him out there in that gauntlet.
That's true.
Like,
if they were going to make the switch, it had to be before this game. You got to get them this game.
Yeah,
you don't send them out there against the powerhouses. But as for this game, though, spread, it's going to be an ugly one. Looking at weather, the weather in this one, 59, overcast, 8-mile-an-hour wind, so it's not really crazy there. Mm-hmm. Minka Fitzpatrick's off the injury report, which is good for the Steelers because if they lose their other star on defense, that's really not good. Wilson's going to play quarterback. I wish it was Flacco. If it was Flacco, I was dead set on the Jets winning this game because I think the receivers for the Jets can blow the top off the Steelers' DBs. They'll hold for 1 half, and then all of a sudden Garrett Wilson or Elijah Moore are going to get loose, and that'll be the deciding factor. Also, the Steelers really can't stop the run. Now you're going to send a duo running back field of Carter and Breece Hall at them. They might not chew them up for much, but they're just going to keep banging into them, and eventually they're going to get tired, and they're going to break one. So I hate it, but Jets plus 160 spread. They're winning this game on Sunday.
If Tomlin loses to Robert Saleh, I'll wear all black on the show on Monday because it'll be a funeral in this home. He cannot do that. You can't lose to Robert
He's
Saleh
gonna lose.
and Zach Wilson.
Your guy's about to go on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 game losing streak. Maybe 10, depending on what Indy looks like at that spot.
They'll pull it out at some point.
Their next game they have a reasonable win at would be Atlanta.
No, because TJ Watt's back in a couple weeks, isn't he?
That doesn't solve the offensive
I
problems.
bet they beat the Bucs somehow.
It will because they're going to.
They're not beating the Bucs. Brady always beats up on the Steelers.
Not the Bucs though. The Bucs are cursed. I remember when y'all came.
Well,
we were hot.
Tyler's over here about to make me cry talking about my hero Tomlin in all the rough stretches here. A rough day for my guys. Jimmy G's like doing one of the worst plays of all time, stepping out of the end zone, and then Tomlin
freaking sucks, dude.
Yeah. So hopefully that we can get this win here, but I don't know if I want to bet it here, laying 3. But obviously, I'm big on the Steelers here, down on the Jets. It seems like the side I would prefer. Tyler's telling me that's a waste of money. What do you think, Kurt?
I think the transition with Wilson back is going to be a little bit more difficult than it may seem because it's just completely different when you get a whole new signal caller in there. I think it's going to take him a time to adjust. So maybe Steelers first half, that would be kind of nice. Maybe he comes out a little, doesn't really look comfortable yet. For fantasy and stuff, I've been hammering these Jets guys. The only one that's been hurting me is Elijah Moore. I think I might finally be ready to jump off here. Wilson's still priced just enough. The game's not great, but I don't mind Wilson. Don't mind Carter as usual. I'm done with the Steelers besides Deontay Johnson. So, yeah, that's all. I don't have a lean here as far as Becca. Maybe just first half Steelers. That's it.
Don't get so far off that Elijah Moore train just yet, Kurt.
Bro,
Flacco was more the Garrett Wilson guy.
I know.
Zach Wilson loved him some Elijah Moore last year.
And that's what I've been telling everyone.
That's a great point, Tyler.
Yeah. In fantasy leagues, I've been telling everyone, go out and try to trade for Elijah Moore because when Wilson comes back, that's Wilson's
He's going to be his guy, yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to not want to throw to Garrett Wilson. He is very, very good. Very good.
Will Elijah Moore star in the latest edition of Milford?
One more week. That's all I'm doing, Tyler. One more week. That's it.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. Go ahead,
Before
Tyler.
you jump on that spread, I see a prop on here. They haven't listed this dude ever for the Steelers. The backup running back, Jalen Warren, his rushing yards are set at 18.5. Najee looks like he's still hurt. This Jalen Warren dude,
he's not that bad.
That and plus when he busts through the line spread, he goes for like 8 to 10 yards if he gets the room.
Yeah.
He could get that 18 in one carry. I like that over there at that short number. I'm pulling up his numbers now to see what he put up in his first few weeks.
I feel like he had 40 last week.
That's what I thought. He had...
I got it right here.
Yeah, 3 rushes, 7 yards, week 1, 4 for 15, week 2, 4 for 30, week 3.
All right, trending in the right direction there. Jalen Warren, I'll happily hop on board there. That way I can support Tomlin without getting exposed to the full game. -3, I don't know. I don't really feel like laying that with the Trubisky-led team, and -170 is way too much on the money line. Let's see if that changes, but right now it looks like the money's coming in on Pittsburgh. The Jacksonville Jaguars are +6.5 in Philadelphia, taking on the hottest team in the NFL. 45.5 is our total here, +230 if you think that Trevor Lawrence can pull off the upset victory. Tyler, this one's tough, man. This one is tough. I like the Jaguars as a football team. We were hiring them in the preseason previews, and it feels nice to get that one right so far. We were just basically talking about what Urban Meyer did there was as close to coaching malpractice as we've seen in the NFL in the last 20 years. And not only to replace him with just a competent coach, but to me, an above average, maybe close to elite guy, and Doug Peterson. He won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. He made Carson Wentz look like an MVP. This guy obviously knows what he's doing. Great talent around this team because they draft in the top 5 for every year except for 2017, the last 10 years, right? I mean, so they got a bunch of blue chip guys on the squad, especially on that defensive line. They're getting pressure on the opposing quarterback. But let's go ahead and look at the matchup. Jalen Hurts is a guy that's kind of invulnerable to that pressure because of how well he moves, whether it's running or simply just keeping the play alive. Jalen Hurts has continued to improve every aspect. This team has yet to be tested, and we've talked about the schedule. They probably won't be tested this whole season, one of the easiest schedules we've ever seen. This Jacksonville Jaguars might be one of the biggest tests, but unfortunately, the final thing we have to talk about is the hurricane and how that affected the Jaguars' preparation this week. So not only did they play in California, now they have to go to Philadelphia with all the hurricane stuff on their mind. Boy, it's a really bad situational spot here for Jacksonville. But football-wise, I'd like them to cover the 6.5. I don't know how to approach basically handicapping how much a hurricane we should downgrade the team for. So, Tyler, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not going to factor in the hurricane as much here. But
I mean, you don't think that's got to be just weighing on them?
I think it affects them a little bit. I think it affects a couple other teams on this slate a bit more. I think their travel affects them more than the thoughts of the hurricane here. Just like you said, spread from LA to Jacksonville, and then from Jacksonville up to Philly, all in less than a week. That's a lot of travel. The defenses looked good. For a while there, you could count both these teams' injury reports on one hand. These are 2 of the healthiest teams in the league, if not the 2 healthiest. But now you look, Philly's injury report has Darius Slay on here questionable. A couple other guys, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders. They're all probable. I think they just had the sit day. But then you have some offensive linemen on here, Landon Dickerson, Andrew Dillard. So, like, those are guys you got to keep an eye on. But they do have a deep offensive line room, so they could just replace those guys. Jacksonville's way of keeping this game close spread, I think, is running the ball. And that's with James Robinson and them. They're not going to be able to throw on this secondary. And I don't think they're going to be able to run much either against this front seven. I think this Philly defense is just great all around. Give me Philly here, spread. I think they win this game by 10. Jacksonville looks great, but I think Philly's one of those top-tier teams. And they're just going to be a regular season bully this year.
All right. Tyler likes Philadelphia. What are your thoughts, Kurt?
I'm going to go with him. I don't know if I want to lay 6.5 yet, but I think the Eagles can definitely win by 7. So I won't bet it, but I do think I'm going to play that into my lineups as well later. But as far as the offensive line goes, it's like one of the teams where you can see a guy on the injury report and be like, well, it's not terrible for the reasons Tyler just said. I mean, look at Jordan Mailata. They freaking groomed him for what, 3 or 4 years before he started? Now he's an animal. So, I mean, it's just their development with offensive linemen is just chef's kiss. So, the guys that are coming up behind him can definitely play ball. You don't have to worry about them really losing that much when someone does, if they do miss, which we don't understand they are. I do think that you're going to lose. So, therefore, Jaguars side, I like Travis Etienne. He's had 3 catches in every game besides the first game, which he had 2 bad drops. He had 2 catches that game. Every game they've been in has been a blowout. They've not had to throw the ball. Now I think they do lose the game. I think Travis Etienne will easily get over 2.5 catches. I think what's the odds on it? -115. Yeah, give me Travis Etienne 3 catches on there. Maybe over on his receiving yards as well. I don't care about the rain. If the team's down, they're going to have to pass the ball anyways.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
This is also the most pressure he'll be under spread. Like, first 3 weeks. Yeah, like you get Washington week 1, their defense isn't all that good. You get the Colts week 2, they play a zone defense. They weren't pressuring them that much. Week 3, you play a banged-up Chargers team, you blow them out. We watched what Philly did to Kirk Cousins. They're going to push this offensive line back into Trevor Lawrence, and he's not going to look exactly like he did last year, but I could see him making some costly turnovers in this one and still showing he's only a second-year quarterback.
Well,
McKissick 6 catches last week against this team.
But I hope you're wrong, and I hope we see the emergence of Trevor Lawrence because that would be great for the National Football League. The Washington Commanders are +3.5 in Dallas, taking on Cooper Rush, and the Cowboys total 41.5. This is another one. They came down, Tyler. What did it open at? Let me check the playbook real quick. I swear we were talking about this at like 6 or something, weren't we?
No, I think this one opened at 3.
I don't know why I'm getting mixed up. I don't know. I must have got that mixed up. Excuse me. I'm scrolling down right now. Regardless, who do you like in this game?
Give me Dallas. You're going to put a quarterback on the field that likes to hold the ball a little bit too long and create plays down the field when his wide receivers aren't open. Now you're going to put this pass rusher on the other side of him spread. Philly got him 9 times in the backfield last week. What do you think the Marcus Lawrence and Michael Parsons and these guys are going to do? They're going to be all over him. They're going to create some turnovers. Once they sack him a few times, he'll be worried about that. And that's when he rushes a few passes and takes a few shots in Diggs' direction. And we've seen Diggs jump a lot of routes. He jumps every single one thrown his way. Might give up a ton of yards, but I bet he gets a couple picks on Sunday. Give me Dallas here to pick up this win. And the cool stat about Cooper Rush spread in his 3 starts, dude's never posted a quarterback rating lower than like 92.
He's good.
Perfect game manager, just does his job. And also, these Washington team, they've given up 100 yards to a receiver every week. Whoever lines up in the slot draws a linebacker for some reason still. I'm just going to go with CeeDee Lamb because it's been Cooper Rush's favorite guy. I think he explodes this week. 100-plus yards, maybe multiple touchdowns. Maybe even Cooper Rush throws 3 to 4 here.
Kurt, our guy JJ loves buy low spots, and I would argue this is about as low as you can get on this Washington Commanders team against a backup quarterback, catching 3.5 here when they're fully healthy. So, all everything that I've learned from betting sports is this is an opportunity to bet the Commanders. I haven't been able to hit Submit yet, right?
They were at home. Maybe, yeah. But Cooper Rush, yes, he's a backup, but I think he doesn't deserve to be called. Well, it's a backup quarterback. No, the guy has performed like a starting quarterback. Not, a top 15, but definitely close to like top 20-ish quarterback in this league. So I don't think he deserves that moniker anymore. It's -3. I think they win by a touchdown. If it was at home, it's like okay, maybe they might rally. They're kind of this pass rush is worth the -3 by itself.
To be fair though, to the Commanders, they're almost getting to be like San Diego, or not San Diego, the Chargers. With the fact that no one goes to their games.
Yeah, I mean, that's good for me, cheap tickets. But I think the Cowboys are long overdue for a defensive touchdown, so I think they might get that help as well. I might probably bet that. When you have a pass rush this freaking good, you're going to score on defense. And the fact it's not happened yet, I've not bet it yet this year. I think I'm going to start this week, and I'll ride it out until they score a touchdown defensively. When you got a guy like Diggs, having a perfect pass rush is just so good for Diggs as far as somebody who wants to jump routes all the time. Give me that, them to score. Give me the Cowboys to cover. I got this from Faxman, but in case anyone missed that show, I want them to know this. He loves the
great
first
show, huh?
Yeah, dude, that guy is fucking hilarious.
hilarious.
Even close to me, I would love to get a beer with him. He'd fucking geek. But the first half Cowboys, because they've not given up a touchdown in the first half yet. Records are meant to be broken, but I'm going to ride that out until it happens, especially in this matchup. Give me the first half Cowboys minus 2.5, I believe it was when he gave it out. So yeah, I like that as well.
All right, let's move on to the Cleveland Browns. They're -1 in Atlanta, taking on the Falcons with a total of 47. Tyler, I like the Falcons here. I'll take the good offense over the good defense. 20 years ago is the opposite, but they've changed the way this game is officiated, and it's all about the offense. I get the Falcons here on the fast turf, and the one thing that would have made me like the Browns would be that guy Myles Garrett. I'm not sure what's going on with him, if he will play or not. But boy, I heard he crashed his car like 100 miles an hour.
I think he's fine. In the video I watched, he looked fine. He just looked a little bit, maybe slight concussion.
He's still up in the air, but I think he ends up playing.
His body looked fine and everything.
So I should just act like he's still in there, because I think that's a big wow. It makes it a little tougher to take the Falcons. But regardless, I've already given them out once, so I'll stick with it. Tyler, I like the Falcons. Do you like the Browns?
I do, but I pulled it up on Twitter. It says Myles Garrett said Monday's rollover car crash was a serious wake-up call for him to drive safer. Garrett is trending to play Sunday versus the Falcons.
He has like 3 speeding tickets for going over 100 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, he's known for having a lead foot when he's on the road, especially in sports cars. But
and I saw that car, and I'm like, how did he even fit in that car? Period.
Yeah, that's the other thing. How'd you get that behemoth of a man in the car? The best part of the video, Kurt, though, was when the firefighter stood him up, and the firefighter went from looking down on him like this.
Yeah.
Like this.
Oh my God.
He's like, this guy's huge.
Meanwhile, the girl's over there like unconscious or something. Like,
yeah.
Can we go get attention to her, please? Like, what is happening, dude? And Miles doesn't even care about her. He's like, not even pay. I'm like, dude, like, I would be like, are you okay? Like, do you need anything? He's like, fuck it. But yeah, I think he'll play. Give me the Browns in this one. I don't know. Was it my turn yet? Sorry.
You can throw that comment up as just one in the chat spread from our guy, the PC professional. He is gonna absolutely torch this Atlanta team.
They look connected, man.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett. I don't care what anybody says. Atlanta's offense, I like it. They don't have the better offense in this game. You're gonna give me Chubb, Cooper, Brissett looked good through the first couple of weeks. He's found Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Njoku gets his targets too. Hunt is the backup. The offensive line's great. I think the Browns steamroll them here, spread. I think they just walk in, run all over them inside this dome. I like the total at 49. It's down to 47.5, so I'm probably going to stay away. Wow. I think the Browns win this game.
Yeah, we missed that boat on that under there, huh? Maybe it buys back, but I don't think so. The Cardinals, another one who's really close spread here. This time they're catching one on the road against Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. 2 number 1 overall picks, 2 Oklahoma Heisman Trophy winners facing off, but really only one has a big future, what it seems like, in the league. Baker Mayfield has been absolutely terrible. Are the Panthers now where top quarterback prospects go to die? We've seen Donald
that's still Chicago.
But this is on the second time around. And first of all, they don't even draft well. Like, was Trubisky ever a top prospect?
No, they just tried to pin him after 1 year of play.
Yeah, I mean, that was just an absolute terrible reach. That looked like, a lazy defense in the NBA. They were reaching so hard on that one here. But yeah, boy, Baker not doing well for himself. Matt Rule definitely on the hot seat here. I like to fade the Cardinals, and I tried to talk up the Panthers, and I thought that they were going to be better. And, Baker will make this team all right, and they have some good weapons, and McCaffrey. The defense will be better, and none of that's come true. And with the history that Matt Rule's had so far, there's nothing to indicate that this team will improve. I mean, to me, the question will be, is he going to get fired in season, or will Panthers owner David Tepper wait until the offseason to get rid of him. But he's got a chance to defend that off. The Cardinals are definitely a beatable team. They're a team with plenty of flaws themselves. Tyler, I don't want to take the Cardinals, but I really don't want to take the Panthers. What do we do?
I'm on the Cardinals here spread.
It just sucks, doesn't it?
As long as this weather doesn't get crazy, because they said that the Carolinas may get hit with that hurricane working its way up the coast. The weather for the game shows 66 6-mile-an-hour winds. I'm monitoring that up until kickoff. I want to make sure that this isn't going to turn into a goddamn typhoon on the field to where Carolina can score a defensive touchdown when the ball slips out. And that's the deciding factor, like it was last week against the Saints. I'm almost positive. I don't know this for a fact, but I don't think it has ever happened before again. This has got to be the first time you've had 2 back-to-back Heisman winners, 2 back-to-back first overall picks, both out of the same school matching up against each other. Because Baker won the Heisman the year before Kyler did. They both went to Oklahoma and both got drafted first overall.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't know. I would say Kurt would know more college football than me, but I don't think
my guess it has to be the first one, because maybe you get the Heisman matchup spread, but there's no way they both went first overall.
Has to be the first. I think it probably only happened one other time where 2 Heisman candidates from the same school, because you think about all the Heisman candidates. I mean, no schools had like back-to-back in the past like 4 years, but it'd be Alabama, and I don't think they have. If they have, it'd be like some shitty ones. But I
would think it'd go back to like SC and running backs. But that's like early 80s and 70s. So that's why I would say, well, maybe it's happened, but I don't know on college football history that well. My NFL history is pretty good. My Major League Baseball trivia is definitely good, but my college football trivia is lacking. But regardless of the trivia aspect, how do we approach betting on this game, Kurt? Cardinals are +1, -101 on the money line. I don't want to bet on Kyler, but boy, this Carolina team and just the whole franchise and the way it seems like it's being run is terrible.
Yeah, so initially I did take the Cardinals. My dad called and said, give me like a 3-team parlay. And I said, Cardinals were the one of the teams I threw in on the road. But I was like, no, they handle business. Now you got Marquise Brown come on the injury report, so I'm a little worried. I can't lie. It seems like a little trappy spot. Everyone's going to be betting them. But if Brown plays, I find it very hard for this team. I mean, Carolina stinks. I think McCaffrey's injury is kind of sketchy. Was he back at practice today? Can't
limited quad injury, so he's going to run the ball 12 times and back to the tent.
Yeah, so give me the Cardinals here. I'm just going to stick with it. I think Brown will be fine. I think he's just tired from getting like 20 catches last week or something. As far as DFS goes, I don't love it at all. I don't think I'm going to have anyone in this game, honestly. I kind of want Connor because I think he's due for a 2-touchdown game. Because as soon as I stop playing, that's what he'll do. But yeah, give me Cardinals. Give me the under 43. Give me 43 and under 43.5.
All right, let me give you guys full disclosure on this next breakdown. I am a Raiders fan, and I'm absolutely disgusted.
Before you go into that, I had some fun stats on the coaches in the Arizona game.
Let's hear them.
Cliff Kingsbury as a road underdog, 14-3-2 against the spread. Matt Rule is a favorite, 3-10.
Yeah, baby.
I heard that one too. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that one, especially Matt Rule, because it's getting into that place where you can't say small sample size. 13 games. I mean, come on, buddy. Let's talk about sample sizes and the Denver Broncos catching 2.5 in Las Vegas against the Raiders. How is this happening? How is this happening?
What even is this line? And what even is this game? I don't. Take it away, guys.
Is either in the trap spot with the Houston game, or they're trying to camouflage the Houston game with this line. This screams Denver. Like, how does Vegas move the ball? They're not going to be able to run against this Denver team. The game plan's been shown to take Devontae Adams out, because Derek Carr is not going to be Aaron Rodgers. He's not just going to give Adams a shot regardless of what the coverage is. If he looks and he's bracket coverage, he's not throwing it. Well, now you take his first read out of the game. Now he's got to look everywhere else. This pass rush is going to be on him too. I think Denver, and then plus they took most of the play calling duties away from Hackett last week.
They
take the whole fucking job from him. How about that?
They did the opposite. He's 2-1.
Well, I thought they had the guy up in the booth calling this stuff now spread.
So the guy in the booth does everything else. He's doing the play calling only.
Okay, so he's basically just the OC.
The other guy's saying, now's when you use the timeout. You know, this is what we need to do here.
It was just like back in Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't even think he called the plays in Green Bay, did he?
Oh, well, he did. What, the last year, not when McCarthy was there.
I thought LaFleur called him.
Rodgers called him. We all know that.
Regardless. But I think that you're going to see this offense start to come together. That 49ers defense is tough. Now you get to go against a Raiders defense. And I've said this on every show I've been on talking about this game this week. But who on the Raiders defense would start on Denver?
Nobody. Maybe
Crosby, but I mean,
and then you look at the guys in front of them. It's like, oh shit,
yeah. So it's like that's like a wash. Like they'd figure out a way to get him involved, right? You know, maybe move one to a linebacker or something, right? So, but the level of roster
is it just me spread? I hate to just kick them while they're down. Doesn't it seem like the Raiders for the last few years have just been like the team everyone gets right on? Like you come in
for the last 20 years.
Yeah, you come in, you're kind of like stumbling through the season. All of a sudden, you hang 48 on them, and it's like, oh, we're good now.
Yeah, since John Gruden the original trilogy. Yeah.
I think these wide receivers for Denver have a big day. Javonte Williams eats them up. His receptions are 3.5, and he's got a ton of targets out of the backfield. Melvin Gordon ate into a lot of those targets last week. I don't think he does it here. So give me that over 3.5 at plus money.
Yeah, I'm, hey, I hope you're wrong. I hope I'm wrong here, but it just seems like this number's wrong to me. Even a pick, you'd start to be like, okay, but you're telling me on the Broncos money line, I can get plus 120 and I get the way better team. Oh man. And it's like, as much as we're down on Hackett, what does McDaniels do? Like McDaniels doesn't have those ridiculous errors, but the guy's sitting here, oh, we need to learn how to win. Well, hey, Josh, the team made the playoffs last year. Devontae Adams has won 39 regular season games in the last 3 years. Maybe you need to learn how to win because the team knew how to win last year. I'm really frustrated with this team. And, hey, I hope I'm wrong, but you look at this, and I don't see how you can't be interested in backing the Broncos at plus 120 here. What do you think, Kurt?
So, first of all, did you all see that Twitter thread about one of Josh McDaniels' ex-players? Actually, a couple of his ex-players came out and did some stuff this week as far as content goes. One was a podcast talking about the whole spying thing, and then another was talking about how bad of a coach he was overall, how he started his meetings and all this stuff, and just how he does nothing but negativity in the building when Josh McDaniels is the head coach. That's just not – I mean, yes, you obviously scold your players and stuff, but you do not start a meeting showing what they did wrong. It's just you don't start the day like that. I just feel like he's nothing but negative energy, and that just weighs on your team mentally, and it weighs on the other coaches. I honestly believe every single word that guy said. As an ex-player, I've not seen anyone else come up and say it's not true. So give me the Broncos here. I think McDaniels is that.
Where did you see that? I want to read it.
I replied to I quote tweeted it.
Okay, I'll check
Dr. Dillon's such a douche. So let me go ahead and send it to you. But I think he's just hard to be around as a coach, and maybe it works when he's with Belichick. Doesn't work here. Give me the Broncos to get right spot.
Yeah, I think we talked about the cohesion with the offensive line, but maybe a little bit of cohesion between play caller and quarterback here with Denver, because I know, Tyler, we were high on this team to start the season, and they blundered on national TV. I also wonder if that game was buried in a red zone time, right? When 10 of the crazy endings were happening at once, if it would have been the same reaction. But the fact that it was prime time and we were all reacting at kind of the same time, right? Oh, no, that was a Monday night game. It's weird on the Thursday night game, right? Looking at the timeline. And I saw a couple people getting dinged last night because they said something about Tua's pocket awareness, but they were talking about the play before that he got caught. So definitely that is one issue. Even our guy, Steve Boynton, right, was talking about he's at a bar and all the TVs are at different times because, this streaming is not how we're meant to do here. What about this one? McDaniel's revenge game, though. I mean, does that mean anything to you guys?
If he's playing New England, I mean, I know he coached for the Broncos, but not for me.
Yeah, not for me either. It's just what's left from his time in Denver here at this point. I don't even think the owner's the same.
I think it is.
I thought they sold the team recently.
Oh, yeah. Right. Really, the Nuggets. I swear, a Denver team did sell, right?
Yeah, I'm most positive a Denver team sold. It might have been the hockey team. I think the hockey team sold.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not even aware of that. But okay. We all like Denver there. And then we're definitely going to have to get into a little bit of DFS here because I'm seeing it in the chat, Kurt. So we're going to start with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to look at I want to see what Holland's price was. This is the first look for me. Mac Hollins, 4.2. Don't mind it. Still don't mind it at all. They're at home. They're going to have to pass. I think this is a week that Denver gets offense going, so therefore Raiders are going to put up points. Mac Hollins looked good. I mean, there was like a 4th and down call, game on the line. They gave him the jump ball. So Carr trusts him as long as it's one-on-one, which it will be because they're bracketing Adams. Hollins is going to continue to get these chances, and Carr is much more comfortable throwing to him one-on-one than throwing to Devontae in double coverage. So I will pay 4-2. I'm hoping that kind of keeps some people off. Waller, 5.6. I'll still pay for that. And I love these Denver receivers. I don't mind doing a little mini stack, maybe 3 Broncos, 1 little Raiders run back. I don't mind. I definitely can see the over. I love the over in this game. Denver's been terrible. This is the get right spot, 45.5 over.
Otter, I'm confused here. You said, I mean, whose power rankings have the Raiders and the Broncos the same? Mine don't. The line speaks loudly that Raiders is the side. Why? And the only reason I can go back to your earlier comment, Otter, where you say, I tend to back 0-3 teams. And I think that's it, right? And we talk about older guys, and I'm one of those older guys, right? You can see the little white hair here, right? But we've consistently bet teams that are more than +7. We consistently take divisional home dogs, right? We do it reflexively. So, yes, I think that money's coming in on the reflex, and it's coming in from big money accounts. I just don't like, why is the Raiders the side other than they're 0-3? I mean, technically they were 0-2 last week, and they needed that win. And
this is what
done against Tennessee. This
is what Big T said yesterday on the show. He said it's good to be on the sharp side. It's always good to be on the sharp side, but sometimes the public wins. Public won last night with the Bengals, and I think this is the situation where the public might win again.
Well, I think the public's on the Raiders. This line opened at 1.5. That's
what I'm saying. I think eventually it's going to turn back, and people are going to be like, "What the hell?" On Sunday, why are the Broncos getting 2.5? Public hammers the Broncos, and then that's what we get. But you all know what the trend's more than me. I just assume that.
No, I mean, you're right. I think that people are going to continue to back the Raiders. I think that 0-3 narrative is going to override all the other.
Everyone keeps looking at a former wild card team make playoffs last year, didn't lose much, gained a couple guys.
And if you play fantasy, you have to get
right eventually.
Yeah.
I think the money's on the
Raiders. Before. I know the line's moved. I don't know the public. I don't buy those splits either.
I feel like come Sunday, the public won't be on the Raiders. It'll be the Broncos come Sunday, but I don't know how this works beforehand.
No, and that's fine. And that's what you usually see. The Sunday morning moves are usually the $20 bettors that wake up, have a cup of coffee, and $30.
That'll be the 4:00 game when guys get smashed on the 1 p.m. slate that they'll all load up on the Broncos to win that game.
That'll be interesting. I think they're going to load up on the Raiders, but we'll see. And obviously, you can make good arguments on both sides there. But the New England Patriots are now +9. This was +10. Patriots are taking money. Makes sense to me. My idea is how Mac Jones hasn't been that good. So you're going to downgrade this team that much for a guy that really wasn't that good to begin with. And I understand, Mac Jones is better than Brian Hoyer, but I don't know if you're losing that much. So this game is played in Green Bay, so of course that's a big deal. But I don't know, man. When you're catching all these points, I mean, Green Bay could win this game and the outcome never be in doubt for the team and the coaching staff, and New England could cover because the spread is so big. I like the Patriots here, but everyone thinks I'm foolish betting on Brian Hoyer. What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, I get it from the +9.5. I don't think they have a chance at winning this game. Kind of like the under here, but just like you said, I think Green Bay comes in. They do enough to win the game. They're not going to – what do they gain from just blowing a New England team out? Like, in the long run, if they're tied in the standings at the end of the season. Maybe
Rodgers establishing a rapport with some of those younger receivers.
I mean, I guess
Dobbs.
so.
Who's the other rookie? What's the other rookie's name?
Watson.
Yeah, getting Dobbs and Watson, just some touches.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but I still don't think they run up the score on this team. I think they focus more on their running backs. I think I'm just going to go Aaron Jones scores a touchdown and Green Bay wins. You'll probably get that right around like +115. Throws the 10 points out the window. You're
going to get 10 points for an Aaron Jones TD?
Yes.
That's the deal of a century. Wow.
That'd be the way
I would think that'd be like -145. If you get that at plus money, that's a go.
Well, you pair it with the Green Bay Packers to win the game outright.
Right, but that pairing is moving you from -445 to plus money for an Aaron Jones. No, look that up. There's no way it could be plus money.
Here, I'll put
Anyways, while you do that,
I'll put it together on DK's same game parlay right now for you.
What's your breakdown here with the Packers, Kurt?
So first off, I missed a couple things. I think as far as way back to the Cleveland game, I think it's going to be a Kareem Hunt game for DFS. So I like Kareem Hunt. I like his props as well. Javonte Williams as well, 6.6. People are going to look at the 4 o'clock game. I don't want to really waste a spot for the 4 o'clock game for a Denver team that hasn't moved the ball. Javonte Williams priced up. Don't want to do it. I'll gladly do it. Raiders can't stop the run. Give me Javonte. Hackett mentioned in the press conference how he's loving what he's getting out of Javonte in the passing game. So more catches, that's the whole point. But yada, yada, yada. Give me that. For this game, this is going to be a lazy take. But whenever you give me Belichick plus 9.5, I just imagine he goes into the laboratory and fixes something and he just only loses by 7 or something. So it's a lazy take, but give me the Patriots and Brian freaking Hoyer. I think the Packers, I don't know. I feel like they don't have that blowout gene in them. They just had a great win against the Bucs, but they had a chance to step on the throat. They didn't. Christian Watson's back, which is nice for DFS because I think he scores an end around on one of these things eventually, 3.7. Dube's still going to get a lot of targets. Don't play them together, obviously. And I think it's going to be, you said Aaron Jones touchdown. Obviously, the guy scores so much, but I think it might be an A.J. Dillon 2-touchdown type game.
Definitely could be. That's how you get the plus money.
Yeah. That's definitely going to be plus money.
Did you find the same game parlay, Tyler?
Yeah, it's plus 115.
Unbelievable. That's the deal of the century. All right. I mean,
until Dillon falls in the end zone twice, it's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Don't tell all the non-subscribers, but throw that on the sheet. This is for you, Kurt. Who do you think we should start at flex PPR? Judy, Ramondre Stevenson, or Jacoby Myers?
You gotta start Judy. I think the Denver Broncos get right this week. I do love the 2 Patriots guys, but that Packers game is just less attractive to me. I like the over in the other game. Give me Judy. I have him in like all my best balls. So yeah, I'm gonna go Judy, but it's closer than what it should probably.
All right, I love that. Thank you for giving the answer. Oh man, we're on dating sites now. Interesting. Well, I think that means we're coming up in the world. Rants, I agree with you. Raiders defense is soft. Jay Williams is a good play. And, I like the new coordinator. I just think that they just don't have talent. And our guy, Matty Icing here. Matty, I was on Mahova earlier. If you saw me cussing when they were talking and you were wondering what's going on, that was when Mahova lost.
Good hit the other day, Matty.
Was that tennis? Yeah.
Tennessee got 3rd in? That was nice. Good hit.
Yeah, and right. I love that Matty Ice is coming in here and he's already throwing shots at Holden, who, of course, joined Amon-Ra St. Brown on the injured reserve this week and did not make it for the Wishbone pod with us. So, that's the old guys pod for those who didn't know, and it's a great time. So you have to check that out over on the Run Pure Sports channel. Go ahead.
What can I get Christian Watson anytime touchdown Packers to win?
Do they even have that on the board, Tyler? Can you make that?
What was it?
Christian Watson anytime touchdown.
And Packers to win.
I don't see his name listed in the anytime touchdown section.
Are you serious? I'm pretty sure he's already.
It will be by Sunday, though, right?
Yeah, he'll be there by Sunday.
I got plus 700 for any time. I just think he's such a big play guy. They do the end of rounds to them. They do the gadget plays for him. He's fast as hell. He's talented. He should have scored week 1. I feel like it's good value there we can get for him and a Packers team that should win the game. So give me Watson to score, Packers to win. I imagine it's going to be like plus 900-ish. It's plus 700 to score anytime.
Yeah,
so
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
all right, let's talk about.
He's at the bottom. Yeah, so plus 750. Add the money line. Yeah, get you plus 800.
Plus 800. Yeah, I like that. Someone tried to get
you plus 50, adding the minus 455. That's weird how that Aaron Jones ones work. Okay. The Sunday night game, I think this one's tough to handicap. Do we even know that it's being played in Tampa? When I did that,
they already said it's being played in
Tampa.
Yes,
sir, baby.
So it is. Okay, so I didn't expect that. I thought that it was going to be moved because of the hurricane, but it looks like they will play that in Tampa. The line has adjusted accordingly. It's now a pick 'em. The total's 46, but we have a lot of Tampa receivers still up in the air as far as their status. I'm fine waiting on this game, Tyler, but the people in the chat watching the show don't want to wait. They want the winners now. What's your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, man, putting me on the spot here. This game's going to be tough. I probably want to lean towards the under here. Give me Brady at home. I just think their defense will be able to hold Kansas City. They won't be able to run the ball very well. Mahomes is going to have to work his magic against this team. And if Brady's able to get 1 or 2 of these receivers back and get Lenny going, they should be able to do enough to win this game. They should have won last week against Green Bay if it wasn't for Gage dropping a few fumbles. And he was just throwing the ball to nobodies most of the game. Perryman's running the wrong routes. You got Cole Beasley pulled in off the road running routes. So you get 1 or 2 guys back. You get Mike Evans back for sure here. So watch for him to get pelted with the ball. But I think they pick up this win.
And that's great. And I'll tell you what, two teams that should have won last Sunday.
Plus,
Kurt,
we
because
get-
that
we get
taunting
the-
call was BS.
And we get the best trend in football spread.
Taunting.
Tom
What?
Brady off a loss.
Yeah,
That's the best trend in football? What is it?
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I know the number's big. When he loses, he's pissed. I'll get you the numbers while Kirk breaks it down.
What do you got for us?
I think this might be the first year I back my Bucks. I mean, not the first year, the first week, yeah. I don't know. I hate that they're both coming off losses, and I hate that the Chiefs probably have something for them after the Super Bowl loss. But I just think, like you said, Tom Brady after a loss, I think the receivers are all going to be back. I think Julio, Godwin, at worst, I think we'll have at least Mike and Julio, or Mike or Godwin, one of the two. That'll be huge for us. I mean, we looked bad last week, not having any. It just looked, the offense looked terrible. Defense still looks great, so we're not worried about that. Chiefs still lacking their playmakers. Give me the freaking Bucks, baby. After the hurricane, rally around for the freaking city of Florida. Just like after the Boston Marathon happens, and then you got 9/11 happens, Yankees win the World Series, something like that. You know, when tragedies happen, the teams win. So give me the freaking Bucks.
All right. The tragedies happen, teams win, breakdown. Love it. Tyler, you got anything more on this game?
I just found some of these numbers on his trends. 10-1 ATS is a home underdog. 49-23 ATS off a loss. 16-1 ATS off a loss is an underdog.
Wow. Love
Which
it.
this
All
game
right.
opened as an underdog, but now they're favored. So,
But to be fair, I think the underdog was myself included. I thought the game was getting moved.
he's also 22-16 ATS on Sunday Night Football.
Tampa didn't even get hit that bad. Tampa's fine. I mean, not fine. Rest in peace to anyone that passed away in that. I think there's only 2 casualties so far. But, yeah, hopefully everything's all right down there. Fort Myers looks terrible. But I think Tampa kind of came away fairly unscathed than what they thought they were going to be. So that's good news, I guess.
All right. Well, there you have it. And then we'll play the game in Tampa, and hopefully that'll be something to get that community back on their feet and get their minds off the tragedy that's happened as they rebuild their community off the terrible hurricane that happened. So it's time for the best bets. Kurt, we'll start with you. What's your best bet for this weekend?
I got to give crazy odds, but I do love the Atine bet for him to get over 3 catches. But I do want to see.
That's Travis Etienne, if you guys don't know who he's talking about.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm not gonna. There's some guys where I get the name. I'm not gonna change up.
Yeah.
I looked at AJ Dillon 2 touchdowns plus 850, but you know what? No, I'm gonna go right back with him. The Green Bay receiver. Once it's posted, give me Watson anytime touchdown. Packers to win. That's my best bet of the week because I had to increase it from plus 700 this week, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
Look at Kurt moving up in the world. All right, I like that one a lot. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Give me Saints first half is my best bet spread. Minnesota's coming into this game jet lag. They might win that first half 3-0, but they're going to win that first half.
All right, Tyler's going to get you a winner before you finish your coffee. I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans plus 3.5. I don't believe in the Colts that much. I felt that they were lucky to get that win. And overall, I'm just not high on Matt Ryan. I think that Ryan Tannehill will prove to be the better Ryan quarterback in the game. Plus 3.5 is too much for a close divisional game that I expect to be low scoring. Give me the Titans plus 3.5. Kurt, another week in the books. Do you have any words of wisdom for the people before we sign off?
Let's see. Go big or go home, baby. Bet responsibly, but go big. Let's have a great freaking week. But get those 15-team, 16-team parlays, put them together, put a half a unit on it. What do you have to lose? We're all going to die one day. Let's have a freaking weekend.
All right, Kurt out there encouraging the YOLO parlays. If you need help with that, you can use the NFL playbook found over at runpuresports.com. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the video. Good luck in all your bets.
Don't end that yet, spread.
Yes, sir.
We got to give
him.
Breaking moves.
He said go big or go home.
Oh, no.
CeeDee Lamb scores a touchdown. Dallas wins.
Okay.
Chubb scores a touchdown. Cleveland wins. Javonte scores a touchdown. Denver wins. 38-1.
Now, we didn't talk about this, but Tyler getting me onto these is the reason why I won so much last week. Dobbs anytime. I did Dobbs anytime. I had that parlayed. I had it by itself. Had him first to score, Packers to win. I had it everywhere. I had it. Mark Andrews 2 touchdowns. I had it parlayed with everything. I absolutely dominated the sportsbooks last week. Thielen scored, Vikings to win. I had all of them parlayed with Dobbs anytime touchdown, Packers to win. Those things got me so much money. So do that, round robin that shit. throw a little round robin on that because if one guy hits, if one guy misses, you're still hitting, and I love all those. So don't be afraid to hit those props. I won so much money last week doing it and rotating them.
All right, thank you for that, Tyler. Give that one more time, and then I'll end the broadcast.
It's CeeDee Lamb to score a touchdown and Dallas wins. Nick Chubb to score a touchdown and Cleveland wins. And Javonte Williams scores a touchdown and Denver wins 38-1.
Only thing I'm changing is Hunt. I'm going to do Hunt instead. Chubb's more safer, but give me Hunt.
Well, if that's true, my Raiders will be 0-4, and you'll have a fun episode of me bitching on Monday. Make sure you check that out on the Run for Your Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe. You'll be notified when we go live.